All right, it's Wednesday, December 10th. Let's call to order the Economic Tourism and Cultural Development Committee meeting. Can I have approval of the agenda? Moved by Council Ramsey, seconded by Council Twill. Any declaration of conflict of interest? Seeing none. Can I have approval of the minutes from October 16th, 2025? Moved by Council Twill, seconded by Council Ramsey. Very well. Any business arising from those minutes?
I don't want to get into it right now, but in the new year, I would like to follow up on the discussion about the farmer's market. Like to fully engage with some of the people that sent emails in, like Olin Penner, so we can have that discussion sometime in the new year, just to go over just some information sharing.
I can probably answer that, Council Twill, because our last meeting, as you know, we did say we would reach out to, I forget the gentleman's name, Wayne, that looks after that. He did the survey.
Mark Corrales.
Mark, yeah. So, and we said we would reach out to him and see if there was any desire to move, which he has none. So
No,
he made it quite, he was going to come here, and I said there was really no need because we had the survey. We know what his answer is. So,
I understand that, but there are vendors that have their own information, which I think it'd be advantageous for the committee just to entertain and look at. So that's all I'm asking.
80% of the surveyors that he surveyed want to stay.
I
So if
understand
there's
that,
one or two,
but there's other surveyors, I don't want to get into it now, but other surveyors that are not participating and have found it difficult being down on the waterfront. I just want to discuss it in the new year, that's all.
I don't, because we've already discussed it. I
Okay.
don't want to keep on
All right.
rolling the same
I
thing.
brought it forward.
Anyway, is there any other business arising from the minutes?
No, sir.
Seeing none. The presentation, so we have Nick and Doug Wright, correct?
Correct.
And you guys do a presentation on the West Rowley Business and Bioscience Incorporated on a business.
Proposed BIA.
Yeah, proposed BIA, okay. You gentlemen have the floor.
Okay, just a quick introduction on myself, Doug Wright. Thanks for having us here today. I've been established in the West Rowley Business Park for 35 years. I have an engineering company that we design and manufacture specialty water and water treatment systems for export. I've owned several properties in the West Rowley Business Park. Very passionate about the park. This is my son Nick, who just moved back from Ottawa, and Nick will do his own introduction, and Nick will do a presentation for us here today, just a 10-minute presentation on what it is that we're proposing. So,
Sure thing.
a BIA, a business improvement area, business improvement district, is typically initiated by somebody that has passion for that particular area, and in this case, it's myself because again, I've been established in the West Rowley Business Park for over 30 years now, and now that the province has divested most of their property in both the West Rowley Business Park and very few properties left available in the up in the Biocommons Research Park, you typically see that there's nobody really looking after the property or guiding it or driving being proactive to, for beautification, for safety issues, all of which we will touch on here today in our presentation, why we feel there's a need for a BIA. It was an initiative of mine 15 years ago. I contacted the province to try to set up an association. And at the time, Mayor Brown said, why don't you look at a BIA? Just couldn't get it off the ground. I was too busy. Nick is home now.
You can pass it on now.
Yeah, he carried, Nick's been carrying the load on this, and I think he's done a terrific job. So,
Sure thing.
yeah, so I'll hand it over to him, and Nick will give a presentation, a PowerPoint, and then after that, we'll take any questions that you may
Sure
have.
thing. Yep, thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Nick.
So as my father was saying, my name is Nicholas Wright. I am currently a governance consultant. I spent the last 7 years up on Parliament Hill, most recently working for the Office of the Minister of Transportation, managing all of his shared governance and
And don't feel you have to stand, Nick. You
Oh,
can-
no, I'm
If
just
you're
gonna stand
comfortable,
for
that's fine. Okay, all right.
Just wanted to make sure you got a good look
Yeah,
at me there
okay.
before I sat down. But yeah, so I've been doing governance for the Minister of Transport for the last 4 years up in Ottawa. A year ago, as of today, actually, I moved back to Prince Edward Island, and that was sort of when we started having the idea that since my main skill set happens to be in organizing people into groups, that's exactly what we should do for the park. So anyway, I'll get started for you.
Okay.
Okay, so as we were saying, we're the West Royalty Business and Bioscience Incorporated, and we're here today to make the case for founding a business improvement area that covers both the West Royalty Business Park and the Biocommons Research Park on either side of the Upton Road. A business improvement area is an organization composed of commercial property owners and tenants that have banded together with the help of their municipal government to create the best possible outcomes for their area. It's important to note that BIAs are self-funded, accountable to their municipal government, and self-governed by their members through a board selected by and from those members. Currently, Charlottetown only has a single business improvement area, that would be Downtown Charlottetown Incorporated, but there are hundreds of these organizations across the country. In Halifax alone, they have 9 of them. There's 15 in Calgary, 22 in Vancouver, and 84 in Toronto. Downtown's Atlantic, which is an umbrella group representing business improvement areas in our region, has a total of 62 members from the 4 Atlantic provinces, and that's only accounting for the groups that have chosen to join their organization. In short, we believe that Charlottetown certainly has room for more BIAs. Here you can see a map of our proposed property boundaries and some relevant general info about why we feel it's well suited to be organized into a BIA. We have, within that orange area that you see there, over 150 acres of land, over 75 businesses employing over 1,000 islanders with a total annual payroll of over $50 million, a total annual property tax contribution of over $80 million, and a whopping $750 million plus in annual sales. Most importantly, though, the businesses in that area right there mainly focus on manufacturing, processing, R&D, technology, bioscience, and commercial business. We believe that the nature of these companies sets them apart from the consumer-facing and retail businesses which make up most of the commerce in downtown and uptown Charlottetown. Our members have a heavy focus on business-to-business and export-focused goals, and as such, we have unique needs that we feel warrant their own organization. As for how we plan to structure that organization, 2 principles that we keep repeating in these early days are bottom-up and accountable. Strategic decisions will be made by our membership, for our membership, through an elected board and through regular membership meetings. These membership decisions are in turn going to be kept accountable to the City of Charlottetown through a municipal representative on our board, the municipal bylaw that governs organizations like ours, and the reporting requirements that law mandates. In terms of funding, our BIA is going to be 100% self-financed through a levy based on assessed property values to our members. Based on the available data for our BIA, we've calculated that a levy of 18 cents for every $100 of assessed value should be the right amount to cover our year 1 operating budget. This is, of course, going to be subject to membership approval, as all major financial decisions will be. But what exactly do we plan to do? As noted, all the strategic goals are going to be set by membership via the board and our AGMs. However, we've got a pretty solid idea of the operational areas that we plan to present for their approval, namely capital projects, shared services, organizational support, network building, and government relations. On capital projects, we feel that by forming a more coherent block, on capital project coordination, we feel that by forming a more coherent block, our BIA will be well placed to help coordinate public and private funding streams to upgrade the aging infrastructure and proactively suggest appropriate improvements to it in our area. We've listed a couple of ideas here for things like our electric grid, the entry and exit points on both sides of Upton Road, which currently represent a little bit of a safety hazard, electric car charging stations, police e-watch boxes, and other things of that sort of nature. For shared services coordination, currently there are a high number of goods and services that our membership are all purchasing individually. An organization like ours would be capable of coordinating that purchasing power and using it to negotiate preferential pricing on goods and services like those you have listed there. Things like snow removal, oil, landscaping, construction, the basics. For organizational support, while both sides of the Upton Road were originally set to act as an incentive for business to operate in Charlottetown, currently there's no one doing the organizational work to sustain that incentive. Our BIA would be able to help organize our area to increase that incentive and provide information for businesses and for the general public to support our members and ensure an efficient operating environment. We've listed some examples here, but I suspect that this is one area that we can really shine in once we get started. As for network building, BIAs are by definition built to connect businesses. As we noted at the top of this presentation, there are hundreds of organizations like ours across the country, all looking to connect with one another. This is made easier through regional umbrella organizations like Downtown's Atlantic, which in turn interact with larger national organizations. Essentially, we're looking at a ready-made national business network that's set up for us to tap into. There are also a high number of business parks on PEI that are just like ours that were set up by the province over the years that could be encouraged to organize into BIAs to help strengthen the island economy as a whole. And aside from that, we also plan to form a robust network of public and private shared governance organizations to benefit our membership. And this would be the one that's probably most relevant to you folks, would be government relations. So forming a BIA gives our members a more coherent voice when dealing with all three levels of government. As we noted, the businesses in our area provide a unique economic perspective that often takes a sideline to the seasonal anchor industries that form the backbone of the island economy. We plan to work with government on matters that affect our members, whether that's consulting here at committee, surveying our membership on changes to laws and regulations which affect them, partnering on public projects. We feel that by forming a BIA, we are making interacting with the government much more efficient for all parties involved. So, in conclusion, we think that organizing the businesses on both sides of the Upton Road into a business improvement area would be a great benefit to both our membership and to the city as a whole. To our members, we can provide collective purchasing power, a coordinated voice with government, direct input to and from the city through our municipal board rep, networking opportunities both outside the province and with existing island organizations, a formal organization to focus on long-term projects which fall outside the day-to-day of our membership, and a centralized portal of information and resources for our members and the public. To the city, the most obvious benefit would be an increase in tax revenue proportionate to the success of our membership. If we succeed, the city succeeds. Furthermore, the businesses in our area create well-paying, highly skilled, non-seasonal employment for the residents of Charlottetown, which help provide stability to your constituents. But in general, we believe that having an organized BIA makes working with the government on everything from consultation to data generation to being a stable partner for capital projects much more efficient for everyone involved. We appreciate you giving us the time to present here at Council today, and we'd be happy to take any questions that you have.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick. Any questions? Councillor Ramsey, you're good? I'm good, thank you. Councillor Twill, you're good?
Just a couple of points. Excuse me. Very well articulated. I think you covered all the bases, Nick. It sounds like a pretty exciting proposal. I believe that, a program of this magnitude and the way you've got it laid out in your presentation, I think a lot of good things can happen. Particularly, you mentioned the other two levels of government being organized to lobby the other two levels of government when it comes to infrastructure, comes to resources, technology. There's many different options and opportunities that I think you just kind of scratch the outer surfaces. BIA programs, as you pointed out, there's many in Canada, and there's a lot of success, and I'm sure you've done the research to ensure that there is a lot of success with a program. When you look at the BIA program, have you did any comparisons with any other programs that might exist that would be comparable or coming at it from a different perspective besides,
Are you talking organizational structure, or are you talking similar BIAs across the country?
I'm talking, well, it could be similar BIA programs. Is there any other programs in Canada or North America for that matter that would equate what a BIA program offers? And if there's in any of those other programs where you might have done some research, is there anything that they're doing that the BIA program doesn't do?
So as for other programs that might do things that we don't, this is a question that we anticipated because we've got a lot of economic interest groups here in Charlottetown that do similar things. But the main thing about a BIA is that it's by our membership, for our membership,
Yep.
and with proper municipal oversight. So if you want to talk about close analogs for other BIAs in the country that do similar things to what we do, the Burnside Industrial Park we found up in Halifax to be one of the most useful sort of one-for-one comparisons to what we were doing, because they're also heavily business-to-business focused and they have sort of a more industrial client base. So we found that what they were doing to be, while not a one-to-one analog, because PEI and Charlottetown are unique places, to be sort of the best comparison we were working from. So when you think of things like the Chamber of Commerce or CADC, their mandates are a little bit broader. We are specifically looking just at our area, right? It's the specificity of it that makes it unique.
Okay, and just to follow up, can you go back to the map that you had there, that you showcased in terms of what it would, I look at the map there, and one of the things I keep hearing is that we need more acreage for industrial parks. Have you, in your preliminary research, have you looked at expansion or annexation or anything of that magnitude?
Yeah, so unfortunately, we're pretty well landlocked now, Councillor Twill. Between the West Royalty Business Park, there might be less than an acre left there that's owned by the province, and they're really just tail ends of previous property parcels that were sold. Now, the Upton Park, or sorry, the Biocommons Research Park, yes, there is still land available there to expand, but the surrounding land between Biocommons Research Park and the North River is all designated upland, the West Royalty Upland. It's not for development. This area here, there's 7.2 acres here, which is currently a pit that is owned by Island Coastal. We're hoping that if we can get the BIA off the ground and eventually, have a consensus with all of our members, there is 7.5 acres to be developed there. And as Nick mentioned, there's also other business parks in Cornwall, in Queens County, Kings County, that are available to either expand on. Now, that's outside of the city, but we're hoping that if we're successful with this BIA, that we can use the same model to encourage the other parks.
Thank you.
Yep. No, thank you too. Great presentation. It looks like there's lots of, you point out lots of good opportunities.
Mr. Chair.
Just a couple of questions. So the self-funding to 18 cents per $100, which, as you said, would have to be approved. And that money would go towards what?
Basically, the operating budget. The operating budget on a very high level, between the two parks, they generate around $75 million worth of commercial assessed value, okay? You divide that by 100 and you multiply it by 18 cents, you get a budget of around $135,000 to $140,000, okay?
Yeah.
So that's basically what we've capped our first year operating budget at, and this will be a very tight, small organization for the first couple of years until we get our feet underneath us. There's no requirement to rent office space or phone systems or internet or those admin costs.
Okay.
Those will be provided by members. Myself doing the initial of that or through my company. We have lots of office space, we have lots of resources. So if we can get the BIA off the ground and get it to a mature second and third year, then perhaps we'll expand on that. Not necessarily by increasing the levy, but there's other ways to generate funding for an organization like a BIA, and that's an example that we've seen through the others in Atlantic Canada. They're not just generating the levy through tax base, but they're doing there's other forms. And We alluded to it in here that it's kind of almost a quasi-buyer's group, but there's a strength in going out to do group buying, purchasing
Yep.
propane,
Yep.
fuel.
Yep.
And perhaps there could be a model or a case there to take 1 or 2 cents off of the top of that, and then the members still achieve a benefit by group buying. So,
Communication's always good,
no question.
with many people as you can. So my last one was the increased tax revenue proportional to the success of our membership. I assume you're talking about as with the BIA and the success that the businesses would grow,
Yes, yeah,
there'd be more tax revenue, yeah.
that would be correct, yeah. That's
So it'd be
how
good,
the tax
it'd be good for the province.
Yes, absolutely.
Stabilize, yeah. And we really want to promote the beautification of the two parks. You know, the province, when they put the bypass highway in, and it stopped at Upton Road, it was always supposed to continue on and go across the North River and join
Right,
in
remember
with
that,
Cornwall.
yeah.
And now we have basically a bypass highway on Upton Road, and, you know, it's, there's some major safety issues there. There's improvement to be done there. We have two areas of ingress and egress onto Upton Road. You can't get a single-car vehicle onto Upton Road most times of the day, let alone a transport truck. So we have a lot of transport trailers coming and going all day long in the West Royalty Business Park and the Bio Commons.
Yeah.
They literally have to do the ramp onto the bypass highway and find their way back onto the Trans-Canada.
Right,
So
right.
those are, you know, there's beautification, there's functionality aspects that we want to, because again, in the case of the West Royalty Business Park, it was formed 50 years ago. So there's been a lot of changes in terms of length of trailers, you know, how the park is laid out. Not that we're going to tackle that day one, but there's improvements there.
For sure.
For functionality.
Sure. And you know those roads are provincially jurisdiction.
Correct, correct. And we'd like to work with the province too, and to, you know, as a focus voice for all members.
Okay. I think, Your Worship, do you have a question?
Mr. Chair, I apologize for being late, Doug. Nick, I was at another meeting that was dealing with the economy of this great city that we call birthplace of Confederation. But
Apology accepted.
Doug, you're right, not 50 years old, goes back to the old comprehensive development plan, and this has been a success story. Councillors Bernard and Tweel, we were on council when Harry O'Connell was the champion for the downtown Charlottetown, the BIA in the downtown, and the success from that is showing itself every year, day in, day out. But Harry made sure that all the businesses were on board. I believe I'm sure you have that there. And Doug, it was a few weeks ago that Councillor Bernard, myself, and I think Wayne was there. It was a BIA representative from Ottawa who was talking about the Ottawa and what they're doing for branding and what they're doing to make Ottawa the place to come visit, spend money, and enjoy yourselves. In Ottawa alone, there are 18 BIAs.
Yeah, no, it's.
So, you know what? BIAs, to me, that's business working with government. And as the chair said, the provincial government still owns that Upton Road. So this is going to be a trilateral agreement, city, BIA, West Royalty BIA, and the province. So I think it's the synergies are there, and I fully endorse it because, you know, we're all we're always talking about regional cooperation. Well, you know, if something starts here, Cornwall the Cornwall Business Park could be looking at it. Stratford could be working at it. Those three of three together, you know, shows the idea that it's plausible, that it's very possible that we can all work together for the benefit of the whole region and the province. So, Mr. Chair, I fully endorse this plan, and I think the faster we get it going, the results will start spinning up as soon as possible. And thank you again, Nick and Doug, and Merry Christmas, and express that to your mother, too.
Merry Christmas to you as well, Your Worship. I appreciate the endorsement.
Yeah, and so where it goes from here, and I'm going to let Wayne speak on that there right now, gentlemen. Go ahead, Wayne.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, as the committee knows, and these two gentlemen are aware, business improvement areas, the establishment is governed under the city's bylaw. Both Nick and Doug have been in communication with the municipality now for several months, so we've had ongoing dialogue and a relationship with respect to advancing this file. There are a number of layers that have to happen in order to get to the finish line. So obviously, the official request has now come forward from this group to establish as a BIA. We have filtered this through our legal counsel, who have given us the green light to move on to the next step. So the next step would be a public meeting, which would be called by the mayor and/or CAO. So that would happen sometime in the new year. Following that public meeting for a 2-week period, there is an opportunity for further additional feedback to come from the community or indoor business, et cetera, to come in. From there, the staff would collect the information, prepare a report, and bring it back to council, who then would vote on or deny the establishment of a BIA. And obviously, as everyone has indicated, there's lots of great benefits to having BIA in your community, depending on the location of a BIA, whether it be a downtown or an uptown in a commercial area, they have different functionalities. And of course, there's still always that ongoing relationship and communication between the BIA and the municipality as they try to do great things together. Obviously, at times, there may be a vision within a BIA. However, they would need city approval in order to advance some of those concepts, depending on our internal processes. So that's kind of where we are, and we will continue to advance this file. And thank you, gentlemen, for being here today.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for your support, Wayne and Cindy, along the way, so.
Yeah, you guys have been invaluable as we've been walking through this bylaw here, so we
Yeah, So it hiding behind the computers. No, it does sound like it could be very successful. It's an industrial park, and so, yeah, I think everybody works together. It's always going to be for the best. I don't see any negatives in it. We'll go through the process, and hopefully at the end of the day, after the public meetings are done, we'll be able to make this happen. So thank you again, gentlemen, for coming in and giving us the presentation.
And, Mr. Chair, just before they go, I might have missed it, but is this the first legitimate substantial application we've received for
Yeah.
the second BIA? This is,
Yeah.
and all the
the only
hoops have been covered, all the hurdles have been jumped? Okay, so this is going great, perfect, thank you.
And it's just for the industrial park, yeah, or the business park.
Nick, I just want to let you know that I knew your grandfather quite well.
Really?
Yes, sir. Used to come to my dad's store a lot.
Well, I see that as being nothing but helpful, so I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no, I just wanted to let you know, he's a real gentleman, and he was, excuse me, Philip. I just wanted to let you know that he's a real gentleman, and I remember him quite well.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks. Okay. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
All right, the next agenda, as I said earlier, we have, finance has been asking for, what's that? Yeah, so the next agenda item, guys, is the draft 26-27 operational budgets. As I said earlier, the finance has been looking for some draft numbers to plug in to get started. We have a number of new staff, as you know. We're short-staffed up with finance. So we had our staff plug in some numbers for now. Basically, you've probably read over the document, but it's basically a status quo budget. Any increases are identified. So I don't know, the increases right now, the total increase is $228,000 over last year. Is there anything you guys want to go over? Because I know this will be coming back, and this is the draft numbers to get the finance to get started. So it's all there in the documents, but if you have a question, let me know.
I looked it over. It looks self-explanatory
It does,
to me.
very much so.
And like you said, you know, if we have to get down into the weeds,
Yeah.
we still have plenty of time
We
to
do.
do that. So I think it looks pretty reasonable,
Okay.
realistic. I mean, from, just looking at it here over the last 24 hours.
And I do, and all, any increases, to say Council Twill, any increases is identified there. For example, the annual civics events, you'll see a $25,000 increase due to the rising candidate production costs. Everything's explained in there. And this is, like I say, it's a draft, it's just a first go at it. So if everybody's okay with what they've read, we'll forward this back up to finance? Okay? Everyone okay with that? Wayne, go ahead if you have any.
Yeah, so Mr. Chair, and I would just add to this, so that there are a few additional numbers as the report indicates that we will have early in the new year. Some of that information comes from the province, as an example, under BIA. We could have another application to the tax incentive program. We did put a 2% increase here on salaries as per CPI, but there's other figures that will come in and departmental structure will pay into that. So we'll advance this further and bring more solid documentation as we get into the new year.
And I think the other thing that I want to bring up was the current budget we're in, we're still 4 months left on it. That's why some numbers will change depending what budget lines are left over and so on. So anyway, if I can have a motion?
No, can I is there room for a reduction or something? You know, every year we go through and they keep going back to parks, to go back to economics, say you got to cut this, got to cut that. Are we very tight that we cannot do that? Or do you see there's room for movement there?
Through the chair, Councillor, I would just quickly say that if you look at the budget in a wholesome way, a good portion of our budget is tied directly to salaries, agreements, and partnerships of which council have already improved. So a good portion of the budget is already committed. Obviously, there's strategic initiatives that we're trying to advance as a departmental staff, and we're using the strategic advancement that council has given us as a department. And what I mean by that, Councillor, is that oftentimes the decisions that we make multi-years out, so event hosting as an example, we've already secured those events 2 or 3 years ago with council's permission, so they would roll into this particular budget. So at the end of the day, if staff are challenged to go back, just like any department, you would go back and look, you know, in a wholesome way, but we need to remember that for the majority of our budget, or a good portion, it's tied to salaries, agreements, partnerships. Hosting events, and civic celebrations, and cultural initiatives, which are priorities for council.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. All right. Any other questions, or is that it?
I'll move it.
Pardon me?
I'll move it to finance.
Okay, thank you. Second it. Thank you, Councillor Twill. Motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Ramsey, seconded by Councillor Twill. Thank you very much, everyone.